fight for you. I always do until my heart is black and blue. I will stay with you. We'll make it to the other side like lovers do. I'll reach my hand out in the dark and wait for yours to until I come for you. I'll wait for you. I'm not giving up, no, not yet. Even when I'm down on my last breath, even when they say there's nothing left, so don't give up on me. I'm not giving up, no, not yet. Even when I'm down on my last breath, even when they say there's nothing left, so don't give up on
Who are we not giving up on? Where's me fucking headphones? Oh, they're on my head! Right, welcome back everybody once again to Safe Place Podcast, and this week I can just about make out through the fucking poorly cut tights there that Craig's on talking. Do we want to be vaccinated? Do we want to force mandatory vaccinations across the 7 seas? Or do we want to have the right to protect our own body? Do we want to be able to say, no, you know what, I don't trust the data yet, I don't trust the science, and I'm just going to sit back and see what happens? Because ultimately, when we look at it, Craig, it doesn't matter if you've had the vaccine, you still get COVID, you're still at risk of dying of COVID. They never told you that when they told you about getting the vaccine.
But my name's Karen, and I think you're being selfish because you are a risk to me.
How am I a risk to you, Karen?
You are not having the vaccine, so I have had my vaccines and you haven't.
You can give people COVID just as much as I can give people COVID, Karen. You're just as much of a risk to people as I am.
If I told you you have to do something to have the freedom of the land, to be human and go anywhere you want, see whatever you want, and sunbathe wherever you want, what is wrong with saying you've got to do something else first?
I'm sick of you being fucking pro-vax. It's doing my head in. I don't have the right to say with my own body. Look at Craig. Craig's not even pro-vax. I'm just throwing him in that corner to have a good old-fashioned debate, because that's what you want to see, isn't it? Actually, that is what you want to see. You want everybody in the world to either be pro-vax like you are or anti-vax like you are, but actually what you really want more than that is the emotional engagement that you get out of hearing a different fucking narrative than your own. You want the conflict. You want the fucking strife with people.
So let's take away our confirmation bias on that we don't believe that which you shouldn't take the vaccine if you don't want to, right? Let's take away that bias and see 2 arguments. Somebody will happily take a vaccine to protect themselves with the science that they believe is true from the government. Somebody else doesn't want to do that because they think the government are flawed and make mistakes, and it could be anything. Forget about conspiracy theories and myths. That's a 2.
What you want about conspiracy theories? This has got nothing to do with conspiracy theories, mate. You can live in the world of spirituality. Do you know how many self-help people I see just ignoring what's going on because they're so focused on fulfilling their emotional well-being with positive thinking or affirmations or gratitude? They're actually using it as a distraction from sorting out the fucking reality that's going on right now in front of our fucking lives. They're coming for your kids, mate. They're coming for your kids. They're going to go into the schools and they're going to end up giving a 6-year-old a choice whether to have a vaccine. If the 6-year-old says, I don't know if I want the vaccine, they'll go, there you go, there's a 50p mix-up. There's your sweets. Do you want it now? I'll give you more sweets if you have the vaccine. And the kids will have the vaccine. Do you know more people have died that have had the vaccine than there have been people that haven't had the vaccine.
But people,
Did they tell you that? When you read the data, Craig, when it comes up with these facts about more people that have had the double dose have been ill with COVID or died from it, right? When you read the stats all across the internet, they all say, yes, but this is what's supposed to happen. They never said that at the beginning, mate. You've been fucking clouded. This life right now is going to affect your kids, and you can say, oh, it's conspiracy theory, it's blah, blah, blah. Forget about it. It's not worth thinking about it. Well, guess what, mate? It is, because your kids' lives are going to be massively affected by it. And also what they've done is, think about it over the years. 150 years ago, people fought for what they believed in. They was willing to die for what they believed in. Now they've got us so conditioned with fucking TikTok and Facebook and Instagram. The only warrior you get now is a keyboard warrior. Everybody moans through the internet and puts their point of view through the internet. But how many people are out there willing to die to create the world that's better for our children?
Well, what the government have done is found the perfect antidote to you being free. It has made you fear something else worse than that fear, which is the COVID. And now you can replace the word COVID with anything. Why don't we all wake up anyway, regardless of that COVID
I
shit?
think people are just deep down scared of death. That's it. They think that they can avoid death. And the fact of the matter is you can't avoid it.
But
it's coming for you. It's lurking.
What the fuck does that fear have to do with you getting an open mind and listening to another narrative? That's what I don't understand.
Well, are we listening to the other narrative?
Well, we listened to it, right? And we were able to see that, right, we don't have to fear COVID at the level that the government says we do. So we don't need to.
Right there, look, you're coming out of a point of view now, right? You're saying, why do you believe in what you believe in? You're saying, you tell me what you said 2 seconds ago. How did it end, that last segment that you were saying?
Replace COVID with anything. It's fucking...
No, before that, you says, why do they believe in what they believe in? Just listen to the facts, listen to the logic. They ain't going to listen to it in the same way that we're not going to listen to them.
Yes.
So what it does now, it starts to point the finger that all of us that point the finger out at everybody in the world to say their belief system, their perspective is wrong, which is indirectly saying that ours is right, your own opinion is just as fucking stupid as everybody else's.
And that's what I mean. Why are people now suddenly standing up saying that we have been told to do something? And it's like, you've always been told to do something, you fucking idiot. This was happening long before COVID. You think when you was
that's a great point.
When you was fucking raised, you thought you had to get a mortgage for 40 years of your life and fucking pay it off in a job that you don't even fucking enjoy for a salary that you fucking can't even live with, and you got fucking £100 left and you got to go on holiday, and now someone's saying you got to get a fucking vaccine before you can do that.
Think about it, when they was in the caves, pal, they used to go out and hunt and there would have been a state of fear there, wouldn't there? But now they've been able to cut the animal up, get back home, feed the family. There'd have been absolute bliss and happiness for a few days until the hunt had to continue again. Now, if I got up at 8:30 tomorrow morning and walked into the middle of the road and stopped people going to work, you would have a line of traffic with people going like that. What are you fucking doing, mate? Get out of the fucking way! Constantly, unconsciously in a state of fight or flight.
Yeah.
The whole system has been created to keep you in a state of fear, living by their paradigms and their fucking boundaries, and you don't even know it. Now you're fighting a COVID war going, it's gone too far now. If they want to give us passports, it's like, no, it went too far as soon as you fucking followed a cultural paradigm.
Do you know what? You know what your chain and board is around your fucking stupid, skinny little fucking ankle?
Jesus Christ, go on.
Do you know what it is?
Why don't you just tell him how it is, pal?
It's everything that you've ever believed in, and you didn't have the fucking mind to say, wait there, is there another perspective? Can I open my mind, and not just open my mind until the age of 25 and that's it, boom, done. That's all I believe in for the rest of my life. There's no need to learn any more knowledge. I know. It's to fucking carry on and seeing, right, is this world exactly like it's said? Like the films make it. Is it real?
Yeah, but people aren't going to listen to you, do you know what? Because they don't give a shit. Let's talk about what's really going on. It's not relationships. It's not animals. It's people are fucking scared of being alive.
And
people have learnt to be afraid more than death, of actually being alive and what it's like to live in a body that's vulnerable to disease and fucking illness.
that's because, you know what, they can't have a relationship with themselves strong enough to fucking see past through all this bullshit.
I'm going to go off into loads of tangents now. It's like fucking think, what are you afraid of being alive? Because every advert that's put in front of your face and every fucking news fucking flash that's put on all the corporate news stations is all about death, misery and pain. So people are being confronted with it that much that they're in a constant state of fear.
And this is another one as well. Every social media platform that you're on, you will look at loads and loads of people, friends, family and celebrities, and you will see them buy pools and cars and think, fucking hell, they are so happy. And the truth is, if you ask them deep down to open up to a fucking psychiatrist, they'd say, I am fucking lost.
Or even worse than that, think about it like this, pal. Look, I don't think there was a time when barbarism was needed. There was a time when people...
Where else you going to get your hair cut?
It was needed for people to go to fucking war. It was needed for them to rise against their own fears and do what was courageous and try and help sustain the lives of the people that they love. There was a time for it. But through the fucking media platforms now, which by way, as a byproduct of COVID-19, they've managed to make massive profits when every other business on the planet has literally gone down the swan. Big tech companies and corporations have made more money than ever. Ask yourself, why is the money gone there? It's because you are fucking conditioned and addicted to being stuck on a social media site that enforces you to have an opinion. You've got conditioned into being an opinionator. You've lost your conditioning to be a fighter. We need to go back now. Craig, look, what are you going to do when the police come knocking at your door and let you know that you're not on the list of vaccinated and neither is your son or daughter that's about to be born in 2 months? What are you going to do, mate? Are you going to resort to law of attraction? Are you going to go, hold on, officer, I'm going to go into the living room right now. I'm going to think of positive vibrations and fucking affirmations to make you go away. Bullshit. Spirituality doesn't exist there. I'm going to go in the living room, officer, and I'm going to think about how positive this situation might be. And I can think that maybe this vaccine won't damage my son's development or my daughter's development or affect me and my partner in the same way that it's been massively affecting people all around the world that have had adverse side effects from COVID-19 vaccines. I'm going to go in there and think positive. You can get lost in your internal world and see a positive in the situation. But guess what? It doesn't take away the reality that a person is knocking on your door and telling you what he wants to do with your body and your children's body. It's a fucking separate thing, mate. What are you going to do? No gags. Because gags are another psychological defence mechanism, just like spirituality.
I'm going to fucking tell you if you shut up.
Come on, what are you going to do?
Shut up, it's my fucking
No, what are you going to do? Answer it now, then.
I am going to do this. I'm going to tell you.
What are you going to fucking do? I want to hear it in your fucking voice right now.
I am going to do whatever that fear leads me to do. And I can't tell you that I'm going to fight for my life because I'm not in that feeling.
On this psychological spectrum.
Listen.
No. What are you going to do? What you know deep within you what you're going to do.
You have to fucking surrender, don't you? You
have to give up and let that officer stick a needle in your child's arm and in your partner's arm and in yours.
Well, let's look at the other option.
Fight to the death.
Yeah, and you think there's no other avenue for that?
Look, Martin Luther King had a great philosophy, didn't he?
And I'm not talking about love and spiritual shit. I'm not talking about that.
I'm not talking about spiritual shit, but love is an actual pure psychological avenue that you can go down to create some sort of change.
And it's not going to be a fucking officer with a truncheon and a taser.
No, it's not. But what did it do? What did Martin Luther King achieve through his approach of acceptance and love and identifying the enemy within you as much as the enemy without? It managed to get progress now. Are you willing to sacrifice yourself for love? Actually, fundamentally, if you really think about it, as I'll come across, and I'm playing the emotional part right now, guys, don't get too engaged in what I'm doing. I'm playing the part of an emotionally attached person to this topic, which, by the way, I am. But I'm also logical and objective enough to try and see that within me, but also expand upon it and see if there's any better ways of dealing with it. Another thing that you motherfuckers can't do, and I just did it again. I just played the emotional sidekick, all right? Again, you didn't see that coming, did you? So, love, right? It's a valid emotional tool. Take away all the spiritual concepts of what love is. Actually, the love that you have for your children is a beautiful kind of love, isn't it? You'll literally risk your life for your own children, right? Now, let's look at love with the idea that you would rather die but teach your kids how to be in the world and try and put a philosophy across of non-hate, non-crime, non-violence, right? Or would you rather survive by fighting and actually being the very thing that you hate in the world, which is anger, violence?
Yeah.
Under
those fight or flight feelings, you're going to react one way: surrender, hands up, yes, I'll take the vaccine, you've got to do it, little Bobby, you've got to do it. Or you're going to go, I'm going to fight to the death, right? And I agree that that's going to be a way that one day we're going to have to do all over again. But this is my philosophy, that this is the only way out. If you polarise to the other end of fear, they have got what they've wanted.
What do you mean by polarised to the other end of fear? I want you to try and make people understand actually what you mean by the things that you know.
So you have one end, the people that are fearful of the COVID and go out and get the vaccine. Then you have people who have less fear of the COVID even being real, so they don't need to go out and get the vaccine, right? And you see that there's just two types of fear that's running the show. Now there's another possibility that you're saying...
And they're entitled to that fear. They have a right to have that within them. They haven't chose it to be there. It's there.
Unconscious, but with intelligence, you can understand how you don't need to fight. Do you know what really needs to happen? Because you've just become what you said that you don't want them to make you, which is scared, fearful, controlled. You're all getting together now and forming an army to fight.
Yes, but aren't you afraid of that which is making you go down the path of non-violence? So it's always going to be fear.
And how can we actually get what we want without fighting, without war? Because
Tell me, Craig,
we all agree that
how
we've
can we
got
get
morals.
what we want?
Well, what runs the show? You are nothing more than a pound coin, a pound sign, a dollar sign. You're a walking note. Money will do more to fuck the people at the top than us actually fighting and killing people, because they're the little just robots. The police that come to the door are just the little robots that's been basically programmed by a higher.
Yeah.
So what we need to do is, if tomorrow we stop filling up the car for fuel, we protest to go to work until they make sure that the vaccination doesn't become mandatory, and they state it as a law in the high office in the.
But do you know why they won't do that, Craig? Because I'm scared, because I'm going to get fined, so I'm going to get sent to court. So do you know what you say to that is? Flood the system. If all the anti-vaxxers and anti-passport people don't want to have that vaccination or that passport, all of you don't go to work, and it would flood the system. And if you're due in court, by the time they've seen all the people in the courtrooms that won't be able to handle the numbers, it'll be 2032 or something. And by then, as a result of that, it would have probably been changed by then that you should have ever have got fined for actually trying to determine your own free will over your own body.
And listen to this. Do you want to know how you make change? If you want to stop racism, if you want to stop this COVID madness, if you want to stop everything in the world that you think is bad and just logically incorrect, but I'm too scared to do anything about it, you switch off your mobile phone, you stop paying into the system, you stay all at home for a week, 7 fucking days, and in them 7 days something's going to have to give, and it's going to be your fears coming up. We've got to go back to work.
What
now,
about if it doesn't give, Craig? What about if it gets worse? What about the government pull out the poker card? We'll win in the end because they need to eat. All right, they will crack in the end. And guess what? We've got corporation money behind us, big tech. Well, I think they charged, was it Amazon? 200 million, and they made £7 billion worth of profit. That wasn't even 20%. That wasn't even the fucking tax that I pay, right? So all they're going to do is ride it out longer than us. And guess what, mate? They're always going to win.
And what is that? A narcissist and an empath, right? It's their relationship, and you are that. You are the empath to these rich people.
So what are you going to do then, mate?
So you have to ride it out.
You have to kill them. No, you have to kill them. You have to hunt them down like the dogs they are. And you have to teach these people like Boris Johnson, right? Wait there, let me finish. These people like Boris Johnson, right? They are on the narcissistic, psychotic spectrum. They lack empathy for other human beings unless it's anything that benefits themselves, right? 100%. You do not get a person that acquires and is hungry for that type of power unless it's out of pure self-egoic self-interest. Wait there, let me finish. So these people, right, who have no consequences, because when they have affairs or they do horrible things or they make mistakes constantly, when it's been proven that they lie over and over and over again to people, real people that have children, real people that have lost mothers and fathers, real people that have fucking taken their kid to a hospital because he's got cancer, real people, real nurses that work fucking God-given hours, right? They lie, and guess what the consequences are for the shit that they do? Nothing. Now, if you let any child get away with really shitty behaviour with no civil consequences, they will become absolutely the most spoiled, uncaring, unempathetic human beings on the planet, and those are the people that we're dealing with. And do you think they're ever going to care about you going, okay, let's not fight, let's talk, let's negotiate? Guess what? They're never going to negotiate. They'll talk, they'll manipulate you with all the words, and we're going to do this, we're going to do that, but they're never going to negotiate. So unfortunately, what it leaves us to do is we're going to have to go to the politicians and fucking kill them.
But
I'm playing the part, guys, of an emotional human being. But I'm always objective. I'm always aware that that's what I could become. I'm aware of the monster that lives within. But because I've got the objectivity, I can take a step back from that animal within. And I can go, kill him! Kill her right now! And I'm doing it again, right? That's another trick, just to show you that while Andrew's getting emotional, you have to be aware that he's actually playing the role of the monster within him that's within us all.
But for me, right, that is fucking madness. Like, you think my philosophy is madness, don't you?
No, it makes perfect sense, objectively speaking. But I'm going to play the emotional person right now, right? Which is... Where was I going with it?
I don't know. It'd be nice for me to get emotional, to have the chance.
You can get emotional. You get emotional now. Wait there. So, what I was going to say is, what did you say?
Look, if you're not on the ball, pass it, right?
If you're not on the ball, pass it. Go on.
Listen, this is what's going to play out in your loony, crazy madness. Don't fucking do it, guys, because it's exactly what they want. Do you know what they'll do? They'll roll out their big guns, the military. They'll take you down because they're a bunch of robots that'll do anything that money fucking tells them to do. And they'll come out and they'll shoot you fucking dead in the street like fucking Adolf Hitler would shoot a fucking
Well, I died in love,
Jew.
mate.
That's great. Now listen, this is where the scenario's going to go. We're going to end up living in a world like fucking Mad Max where there's just real paupers, and now all the fucking anti-vaxxers, they're just these people crawling around in fucking dust and living off the scraps of
That's if they're alive and haven't been put in fucking gas chambers yet.
Exactly. So we rise up again, we get a gang together, even with less tools, and we throw fucking spears at big fucking metal tanks. That's the projection of where it's going to go. There is no way that the money can ever go back
Do you think for 1 second that numbskull of a head that you've got, which looks great, by the way, in tights, right? Do you think that the ant... No. Do you think that the bumblebee says, no, we can't take on those big hornets? They're much bigger than us. They've got bigger weaponry.
No, I agree.
No, we flood them! We flood them! And we kill them! We kill them one by one!
I agree with you. You're not listening, but we're going to...
Because I'm not listening, because that's another byproduct of being so emotional. You can't listen. You can't listen. There's another great example, well said, Craig. When you're that emotional, you can't listen to sense.
No.
You can't listen to any sense whatsoever.
That's it.
You've built up a belief inside of your mind that tells you whether vaccines are good or not. And the fact of the matter is, nobody's ever going to know, sadly.
So, doesn't mean that it's game over. If you can do that, there's fucking hope. Because at the moment, there's a small percentage of people, like fucking 500 on the planet, who really, really have a clue on the matrix that we're plugged into. And unfortunately, the majority, with the wealth as well, which is really helpful, fucking actually can just do whatever they want. Now, we've got to try and be almost like Jesus, going to people and trying to get them to believe in this magic existing. There can be a world where you don't have to be a slave, because every person on the planet, bar probably 10, is a slave to someone.
So the only way you can do it is lovingly non-compliance. That's the only route there. I'm listening to what you said about not paying the bills and not fighting and staying in a love mindset.
Neutral.
Loving non-compliance. We will not partake in the system and work and pay taxes and take part in this cultural paradigm anymore. Lovingly, until you change the policies and laws that are in place to enable us to live a freer life.
My message is to tell the neighbour who's the one that's fucking it up. It's the one who's fucking the vote up. If every
But there we go again. There's the problem, isn't it? It's like you've made somebody the monster. And it's always bad news, isn't it? Because it's like, yeah, Craig's right. There is that one neighbour down the road who's fucking it up for us all. And now we've got to go and kill him. It's like, how easy is it to be warped into that fucking mindset?
But what
it's like,
do we need?
Love thy neighbour, because thy neighbour is afraid and is doing, or she's doing what she thinks is best. Love thyself. I'm doing what I think is best. How can we work together? How can we work together? Oh, fuck me. You know what? I don't even know anymore. All I know is that the politicians need to get killed.
I've got the answer. 2 ways that you can solve...
Take the tights off your head. Tell us. Because it might be really good, but no one would take you seriously with that on.
Right. There's 2 ways that you can solve the problem on the planet without your killing of politicians.
Not mine. The characters.
Mass genocide, which is where this war would go.
Worked in the French Revolution.
Or secondly, get everybody to believe in the same thing. Because if you got everybody on the planet instantly, it was just like pressing a button right now, everyone's going to believe the same thing now.
That is the shittest fucking thing I've ever heard. Get everybody to believe the same thing. No, it's impossible.
No, I'm telling you the way to solve the earth, but
I'm telling you the way to solve the earth.
Is impossible.
The earth's sorted, mate. It's us that's the fucking problem. Right. We're done for, mate. Our kids are going to get their liberties shattered even more because mum and dad didn't have the balls to get off their TikToks, their spirituality, and deal with the problem that was in front of them because of cultural fucking programming, cultural fucking societal fucking programming and conditioning that is at the root of our souls now. We are now dead beings. We are lost in it, mate. We're lost in the matrix.
I've got
it. We're not in the matrix anymore, mate. Do you know what we are? We are the matrix.
Muzza,
we're a fundamental part of the matrix.
You've saved humanity. Muzza has just saved humanity. Guess what? We're not going to do this through love. We're going to do this through fear.
Through Neo.
Through fear. Fear is going to lead us out of it because we will never do that thing, believe in everything, until we fear that people will die. Mass genocide, the actual other thing that fixes the planet.
We have dressed up like this today to try and show the insanity that already exists in the year 2021, and if you don't think that it's going to get worse than it already is right now, then you are in a beautiful little inner world that doesn't exist within reality, and I want to join you right there, and that's why I'm going to put these tights back on my head right now, and we're going to end it with the fucking dance, because I've had an absolute no. Where's my mouth bit gone?
By the way, Andrew,
where's my mouth?
Now we're off air. How was the second jab?
We're not off air, mate. I don't have the fucking jab. Nice try.
He's had 4 jabs. He's actually pretending.
Let's do it. Oh, shit. That's all right.